Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gillis the Kid, and this time we're going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. It's the flagship phone that was released by Samsung. So they came out with three devices. There was the S23, the S23 Plus, and here you have the Ultra coming in at $1,200. We're going to be talking a little bit about it, so let's get into it. Now in the box you only get a cable. This is what it looks like. It's a USB Type-C to C. The charging block is sold separately. I highly recommend you get one. Probably like a 45 watt charging block. And the first thing you're going to notice is that this is a pretty big phone. It's narrow, but it is wide. And it does have some weight to it. You can still use it with one hand. One of the things I like to do is go into the settings. You can make up a Samsung account. Samsung accounts are good if you like lose your device, or if someone steals it, you can wipe it right from home. And you also get extra cloud storage too. But you want to go to display here. I have mine set on dark mode. You can do light or dark. And then one of the main things you want to do is go to screen resolution. By default, it's set to the full HD. You can go in and set it to the QHD so you can get the best resolution. You can hit, yep, so there you go. And when you look on the side here, you have your volume up and down buttons. There's a power button right below. And on the bottom of the device, you have your iconic S Pen here. So you can take it out, and then, you know, you can create notes and all sorts of stuff. The S Pen does have a button on it, so if you want to take photos, all you have to do is press that button right there on the S Pen. But it's really nice to have. These phones used to be called the Notes back in the day. I think the last one that came out was like the Note 20 Ultra, and that one had like SD card support. We'll get to that in a second though. And it does have dual speakers, so you have your speaker grill right here on the bottom of the device next to the microphone. You have a USB Type-C connector. Most Android phones that come out today are USB Type-C. And then you have your SIM card tray right here. Again, that's another feature that most phones don't really use. This phone has eSIM capabilities. So you really don't need a physical SIM unless you're like traveling to another country or something like that. Some people like to have two phone numbers on one device. And then moving along to the back here, you got like a quad camera system. So you have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. You have a new 200 megapixel camera. You have a 10 megapixel camera and another 10 megapixel camera here with optical zoom. You got your LED flash, that 200 megapixel camera. They call it space zoom, so it can zoom out super far. You got Samsung's logo right there on the back. This is the black colorway, so they do come in multiple different colors. Now you have a 6.8 inch display. It's an OLED display. And like I said, you want to go into the settings and change that resolution as soon as possible. You have Gorilla Glass Victus 2, but I would still recommend the screen protector. You have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 processor. That's a 4 nanometer, so it's really small and it's supposed to be good on energy. Now, I charged this phone last night all the way up to 100, and I left it on purpose. And as you can see right now, it has a 90%. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I was getting some notifications overnight, but it really didn't lose much battery power. So that's a good sign. I'm gonna have some tests coming up pretty soon for that. Now this phone has 12 gigs of RAM. We're gonna go into the storage here. You only get 12 gigs of RAM if you get the 512. This is the 512 gigabyte version. So if you pre-ordered your phone through T-Mobile like I did, you got the 512 gigabyte version for the price of the 256. So as you can see, got a massive amount of storage, and I have 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's more than enough. These phones do not have SD card slots, so you want to make sure you get as much storage as possible. It's running Samsung's Android 13, the One UI. It has a 5,000 milliamp battery, so it has the biggest battery out of the 3 devices. It does feature fast charging. There's wireless charging. They have something called Power Share here. So if you go into the settings, you can see it says wireless power sharing. So you can actually place like other devices on the back of your phone here, and it'll basically charge it. So you can put your watch, your phone, your like your Bluetooth headphones on the back. It'll basically charge it for you. That's a pretty cool feature. And you know, looking on the back, this is where this phone really shines. So you have a quad camera system. You have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a massive 200 megapixel camera here in the middle. You have a 10 megapixel telephoto camera and another 10 megapixel telephoto camera right here, right below the LED flash. These phones take amazing pictures, so you won't have a problem with that. Now you can also take selfies. So there's a camera here on the front that is a 12 megapixel camera right there for your selfies. And as far as video recording goes, you can record in 4K at 60 frames per second, and you can also record in 8K at 30 frames per second. Now, I've taken a lot of videos with these Samsung phones, and most of the time, you know, after about 35 minutes, they'll stop recording. I always get messages saying that the phone is hot. I'm gonna take some more tests with this one, because that's not supposed to be the case with this new processor. But you know, if you go to video here, obviously you can change this. As you can see, it's set to like the full HD at 30 frames per second. So you can click on that. I'm going to put mine on the well, this is 4K right here. The UHD 60, that's 4K, and then you have 8K at 30 frames per second, so you can change it if you want. And then you have like these zoom features here. So you got the 10 times zoom. Once you go past that, you can, you know, really start taking pictures of things farther away. I've seen a picture of someone like taking a photo of the moon. So the cameras are absolutely amazing. I'm gonna test the videos out. The phone is water resistant. It has all the other features like face unlock. You got the in-screen fingerprint scanner, and they come in multiple different colors. So if you pre-ordered yours through your carrier, most likely you got black. There's cream, green, and lavender, and then you can get more colors on Samsung.com. So they have red, blue, and lime. Now, some of the things I don't like about this phone, of course, it has no headphone jack. But if you upgrade your phone every year, most people from Samsung, they're kind of used to that by now. So, you know, I have Beats and AirPods and stuff like that. So you can always use Bluetooth headphones, but having that 3.5 millimeter jack on the bottom, that really came in handy sometimes, especially if you don't feel like charging your headphones. And of course, it doesn't have an SD card slot. So again, if you get this phone, you wanna make sure you get as much storage as possible. In some countries, you can get a 1 terabyte. I believe on Samsung.com, you can buy like a 1 terabyte. It's completely unlocked, and you won't ever have to worry about storage. Now, you know, this starts at $1,200. Obviously, if you get more storage, it's going to be a little bit more pricier. But other than that, this is a terrific phone. I really like reading on it. So, you know, you can swipe. As you can see, the words are really big. It feels really good in the hand. You got your S Pen support. So, you know, if you got long nails or something, you can use your S Pen. It also has another feature right here. This is the edge screen. So this panel was pretty popular when the Note Edge came out years ago, and it's still here. So you can basically set all of the apps that you use the most right here on the edge panel. So you do have that option too. I remember the Samsung Mega back in the day. If you thought this is a big phone, look up the Samsung Mega. But I'm going to drop all the links down into the description. You can definitely check this out yourself. I'm going to have some more videos coming up pretty soon. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.